This inmate never thought that entering that cell would be the worst decision of his life. What started as a simple conversation with another of his fellow inmates ended up turning into a torment that would have irreversible results.
I don't think they was handling those inmates the way they should, protecting them, especially my son.
Under the watchful eye of his fellow inmates, Maurice King went through his routine as usual. He left his cell, went down to the common area, and chatted with the other inmates at the Orange County Jail, and one of them in particular he decided to finish talking to in his cell. Despite the obvious nervousness of the inmates, no one raised suspicions, and they continued with their macabre plan. Maurice didn't know that when he entered into that room and closed the door, his destiny would take a drastic turn. After discovering what the other inmates were really up to, it was a day like any other at the Orange Correctional Center, when an altercation between some convicts led them to make a drastic decision, and after guiding the victim back to his cell to avoid being seen, they began the vicious assault while hiding the brutal blows from the security cameras. And other inmates restrained the victim to prevent him from escaping. In this way, they carried out their ruthless plan, which ended with Maurice seriously wounded in the hospital. It was 6 minutes of torture in which neither police nor other inmates intervened. Minutes later, the police arrived without even checking King's cell, as they usually did. 90 minutes later, they helped the victim, who was trying with great effort to stand up and walk, after being assaulted by his fellow inmates, who beat him until he lost consciousness, asking for oxygen and sweating profusely.
I have a lot of concerns, and no, I don't feel that the case has been handled, because this young man had a charge of manslaughter, and I thought that it should have been a higher charge like murder.
Already in the ambulance, King told the paramedics that his cellmates had choked and assaulted him. Maurice King died in the waiting room after his heart stopped as a result of the blows to his head.
Ocurre ahí lo que se denomina contagio criminógeno, en donde tú partes naturalizando cierto tipo de conductas violentas de toda índole. Se naturaliza que la única estrategia y forma de resolver un problema es imponiéndote por la fuerza frente a un otro. Y se asume y se ha naturalizado que tú tienes que ser primero victimario, porque si no eres victimario, eres víctima.
The father of 3 children died at the age of 34.
He was that child. He loved his family. He loved me most of all. He was my world. And when his life was taken, it's like my world shattered.
The case remains under investigation to ascertain the motivations that led to the death of a prisoner at the hands of his fellow inmates.